Good morning, Mark.
Hey Cliff, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Look, you're all getting ready for the Auroras. I know that. It's a lot of work,
It is,
and
it really is, yeah.
I want to help. Look, I bought this completely automated software package. It does all the visuals. Literally, all you got to do is show up, and it does the rest.
Well, that sounds great, but Liz really does a good job with the creative and the titles and the visuals. Are you sure it will work?
Yeah. Look, trust me, Mark. What could go wrong? Good morning, Mark. Morning, Liz. Day of the Auroras. I hope you guys are excited and ready. Look, I know the software sure has done everything and it's ready for tonight.
Can we take a quick look at one of the videos?
Okay, you want to see an example? Yeah, sure, no problem. Hang on. There, how's that?
Aurora Awards! I'm your host, and this is very professional. Get ready for the most prestigious category. And the winner for Best Right is...
No, absolutely not.
I'm so sorry. I trusted in it. But we don't have much time. What are we gonna do? The ceremony starts in like 6 hours.
That's okay, Cliff. We've got this.
We are a last-minute production.
We'll figure it out. Okay, I'm just going to log in here. Open the login screen, please. Do you read me? Open the login screen, please.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Cliff, we're completely locked out of the system. We need some sort of password or something. Can you help us?
Hang on. Yep. Here, I printed everything out. It's okay. I set up the security credentials with image recognition software.
Okay. I guess we could try and go from there. Okay, I need a female Aurora winner for past best novel.
Czerneda, top, third to the left.
Popular cover art. Most famous Aurora nominee. Canadian science fiction, fantasy, and horror titles. Spirit of the 2026 Aurora Awards. 10 seconds remaining. Access granted. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the 2026 Aurora Awards, as we celebrate this year's nominees, award recipients, and Hall of Fame inductees. Featuring appearances by Premi Mohammed, Ryan North, Sonia Orlando, Ado Van Belkom, Y.M. Pang, Susan Forrest, and more. And now, in celebration of excellence in Canadian science fiction, fantasy, and horror, your hosts, Mark Leslie Lefebvre and Liz May Anderson. Hello, welcome. 2026 Aurora Awards. Liz, I am so excited to be here.
Well, we've had a very exciting lead up. I know that there were no soccer fields,
No,
but
it's not this time.
there were so many things that we had to deal with this morning. But we are so happy to be with you today.
And one of the great things is we got an opportunity to look at a lot of amazing titles from Canadian authors, some great books over the years. And I am honored that we get to celebrate the excellence that so many people have put into science fiction, fantasy, and horror in Canada, not just this year, and all the amazing nominees and all the inductees, but over the years. We are enriched and blessed to have such amazing talent in Canada. And I cannot wait to get on to celebrating all of the things that you guys are doing tonight.
That's right, Mark. But first, I would like to acknowledge that the land that Mark and I are presently presenting the Aurora Awards is situated on the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Chinootan people. We are grateful for their enduring presence, deep traditional knowledge, laws, and philosophies. We are all treaty people with a responsibility to honor all our relations. And with that, I know Mark and we were so excited to finally get the final clue, which was our first time nominee pins. Ooh. And we have a few first time nominees that we would like to celebrate right now.
That is so amazing. You never forget your first time. And congratulations to our first time nominees. Welcome. And congratulations to all the nominees. But there's another thing that we've done recently with the CSFFA Awards is celebrating the grants and the grant recipients. We've got a little bit something about that, don't we?
We do. First, we're going to introduce, and then we're going to hear from a couple of this year's grant recipients.
Hello, I'm Murray Moore. I'm the president of CSFFA. CSFFA does more than organize these awards and the CSFFA Hall of Fame. CSFFA supports with grants each year a few Canadian writers, writers new to our genres. Meet now several recent CSFFA Professional Development Grant recipients.
Hi, my name is Madeleine Peltier, and I live near Montreal. I've been writing short speculative fiction for about 10 years now. Until last year, I'd never really been tempted to write anything longer. And then I got this idea that I couldn't stop thinking of, only I didn't know how to turn that idea into a novel. So I applied for a professional development grant from the CSFFA, which helped me pay for a novel writing course. Today, I'm working on the revisions of that novel. Thank you, CSFFA, for all your support.
Hey everyone, this is Ava Roslin. I'm a queer disabled writer living in Toronto. I write dark fantasy and horror novels, poems, and short stories, and my goal is to publish my novels. Thanks to receiving my CSFFA grant, it is helping me to pay for an editor to complete my work in progress, which is a historical fantasy novel set in Montreal. Thank you so much to the CSFFA. Merci beaucoup.
I love the support and bringing fresh voices and different voices into the amazing pool of great reads and things that we can enjoy, the visuals and the reads that we can enjoy. So I love what the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association does to support its members, to support creators in Canada, and with these grants. And these are just a few of the many recipients that we had for 2026. So congratulations. Looking forward to checking out your work in the future.
Congratulations to this year's grant recipients. But we also have a very special award coming up that also has some very specific recipients that are very excited to share with you. But first, we're going to share a little bit about the Hall of Fame. Mark, do you want to set this up for us?
Yeah, of course. So the Hall of Fame and the trophy, you're going to hear some amazing stuff from David Klink is a chair, is going to share some details about that, and then introduce each of this year's prestigious Hall of Fame inductees. These are folks who have contributed consistently over years and years to the richness of Canadian science fiction, fantasy, and horror, the creation and the celebration and the enjoyment of it.
On July 1st, CSFFA, the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association, announced the 2026 CSFFA Hall of Fame inductees: Kelley Armstrong, James Allen Gardner, Mike Glicksohn. Founded in 2014 to celebrate the best Canadian writers, editors, publishers, artists, musicians, scientists, organizers, and fans who have over the decades made a significant contribution to the genres of science fiction, fantasy, and horror, the CSFFA Hall of Fame is Canada's highest science fiction, fantasy, and horror honor. Inductees receive a plaque and have their names engraved on the permanent trophy, which has been frequently displayed at conventions and other events across Canada. Starting in 1980 with the A-Van vote, CSFFA began recognizing Canadian creatives by giving Lifetime Achievement Awards, and the Hall of Fame grew out of this tradition and brought those so honored into the Hall. We'd like to take this moment to thank all the nominees. Those who are not selected will remain nominees for future years. Vancouver artist Gideon Hay sculpted this beautiful award trophy. The back-to-back faces represent facets of Janus, the Roman god of doorways and of beginnings and endings. One face looks to the future, as much of science has, and the other to the past, the home of most of fantasy. We wish to thank the 2026 CSFFA Hall of Fame jury for their work: J.M. Landels, Y.M. Pang, Clifford Samuels, Ado Van Belkom, and the jury chair. That's me, David Klink. Kelley Armstrong is the author of over 50 novels and dozens of short stories. Armstrong has won the White Pine Award for The Gathering 2012, an Aurora Award, The Rising 2014, the Ruth and Silvia Schwartz Children's Book Award for A Royal Guide to Monster Slaying 2020, and the Rita Award, A Stitch in Time 2021. Armstrong has been nominated for the International Horror Guild Award, the Sunburst Award, the MWA Sue Grafton Memorial Award, and many Aurora Awards. Recent releases include the Rip Through Time Time Travel Mystery Series, the Havens Rock Mystery Series, the Haunting of Payne's Hollow Horror, and A Deadly Inheritance teen thriller. She's a Globe and Mail, New York Times, and Sunday Times bestseller, and her first series was adapted into the TV show Bitten. She was nominated by Clint Budd, Hall of Fame 2025, and Clifford Samuels, Hall of Fame 2023.
Thank you so much to the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association for this incredible honor. First, I want to thank everyone who makes these awards happen, because I know it's a labor of love for all involved. Thank you to the chair, David Klink, and this year's jury, J.M. Landels, Y.M. Pang, Clifford Samuels, and Ido Van Belkom. Thanks to Liz Anderson and Mark Leslie Lefebvre for co-hosting this awards broadcast. And thanks to everyone behind the scenes who keeps these awards going. Oh, and a huge congratulations as well to my fellow inductees, James Allen Gardner and, posthumously, Mike Glicksohn. I will admit that when I got the email, quickly scanning it, I thought it was spam. That's what it's like for authors these days. We're inundated by emails telling us that a well-known industry professional has randomly found our books and wants to help us market it. Or that one of our books is up for an award and it'll only cost us $500 to stay in the competition. An email saying I was being inducted into the 2026 Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association Hall of Fame was very clearly the same thing, and I was going to have to email the real David Klink and tell him he was being impersonated. Then I read it more carefully and checked the email address and realized it was real, and I probably had a goofy grin on my face for the next 5 minutes. When I got the email, I was at a literary festival in Yellowknife, surrounded by Canadian authors and writers, which is always a wonderful place to be. I'd spent that afternoon at a local bookstore, browsing the Canadian author section, and I'd been thinking how wonderful it is to see those shelves growing. Part of that is that there are more Canadian authors, but it's also a sign that we're recognizing more Canadian authors as Canadian. When I was young, I never expected to be on those shelves, even if I did get published. They were filled with canned lit, and I very clearly wrote fantasy even back then. In the last decade or so, though, I've seen an increasing recognition of Canadian genre authors, with their books proudly displaying that maple leaf sticker. In the last couple of years, that has grown even more, and it is wonderful to see. The Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association has always recognized Canadian authors of science fiction and fantasy, and I've always been grateful for that and for the Aurora Awards. I said that I never expected to see my books on a Canadian fiction shelf, but I truly never expected the honor that would come with being inducted into the CSFFA Hall of Fame. I'm sure that the heightened attention on Canadian fiction means we'll see even more Canadians writing fantasy and science fiction, and I cannot wait to read their stories. Again, thank you so much.
James Allen Gardner has been a writer of science fiction and fantasy for more than 40 years. Starting with plays and radio dramas at the University of Waterloo, Gardner has gone on to write 10 novels, as well as numerous short stories, which have appeared in Amazing Stories, Asimov's SF Magazine, the Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction, and Nature. He's led many writing classes and workshops and acted as an editor for other writers' projects. His work has won the Aurora Award, the Sayun, the Asimov's Reader's Choice, the Writers of the Future Contest, and the Theodore Sturgeon Memorial Award. His stories have also appeared on the final ballots for both the Hugo and Nebula Awards. Robert J. Sawyer says, James Allen Gardner is simply the finest short story writer in the history of Canadian science fiction. Gardner lives in southern Ontario, where he writes 24/7. He was nominated by Robert J. Sawyer Hall of Fame 2013.
Hi, thanks to everyone who's listening. It's such an honor to be inducted into the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Hall of Fame, along with Kelley and Mike and all the people from previous years. So thanks to the CSFFA, especially the people associated with the Hall of Fame, the Board of Directors, the Hall of Fame jury, and everyone else who's been working to keep this wonderful thing running. I'd also like to thank the many people who've helped me develop my writing, starting with my friends and family, of course, then, this is a long list, Fass, Somewhat, CKMS, the Writers of the Future Contest, Clarion West, the Banff Centre, the writing groups I've been part of, the people I've listened to and talked with at SF conventions, the colleagues who've given me feedback, the editors who published my work at magazines, plus at Avon and Tor, and in general, all the writers whose work has helped me understand what good writing is, and all the writers whose work is going to inspire me in the future. Big thanks to my agent, Lucian Diver, who gives me pep talks and deals with publishers so I don't have to. Special thanks to Sigong Bob Schneider, Sigong David Moylan, and everyone else at the Waterloo Kung Fu Academy for their unending support. Ditto to the Kitchener Public Library, which I visit almost every day. Super special thanks to Robert J. Sawyer for his constant friendship and savvy advice on all things related to science fiction and writing. Also for nominating me to the Hall of Fame. Thanks, Rob. And finally, thanks to my readers. Actually, thanks to all readers, whatever you read. They're my people, and I'm glad we're in this together.
Hugo Award winner Mike Glicksohn, 1946 to 2011, was involved in science fiction, fantasy, and horror fandom for over 4 decades and was beloved by all who knew him. Among Mike's many achievements, inducted into the first Fandom Posthumous Hall of Fame 2024, Hugo Award co-winner for Best Fanzine 1973 for Energumen, 2 previous Hugo Award nominations for Energumen, Hugo Award nomination for Best Fan Writer 1977, Fan Guest of Honor at AussieCon 1, the 33rd WorldCon 1975, Fanzine Activity Achievement Awards, or FAN, as Best LOC, Letter of Comment Writer, 3 times. Selected past president, FWA, Fanzine Writers of America, at the 2006 Corflu. Co-chair of the Toronto 2003 WorldCon bid, and co-founder of the Ontario Science Fiction Club, OSFIC, in 1966. Based in Toronto, each U.S. Memorial Day long weekend for more than 25 years, Mike and his friend Michael Harper hosted MikeCon, which was attended by hundreds of science fiction, fantasy, and horror fans from across Canada and the United States. He was nominated by Robert J. Sawyer, Hall of Fame, 2013.
Hello, I'm Susan Manchester, and on behalf of Michael Glicksohn, my husband, I would like to thank you for giving Mike this amazing award. He would be absolutely flabbergasted, shocked, really, that he was being remembered in this way. He loved science fiction and fantasy, and he found a family there. Thank you very much, and I know he would accept this graciously, and again, he'd be shocked. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, but I lost Liz here. I don't know what Liz, what happened?
Oh my gosh. I didn't, the computer, it did the facial or the image recognition software.
Oh my God. We only did it on my computer, so it must have taken over yours. Well, we can keep going though, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and congratulations to all the Hall of Fame, the new inductees, to Kelley and James, and in honor and memory of Mike.
We have some very excited people already in the green room. Wave, we can see you.
We can see them, but you guys can't see them yet.
So, without further ado, our first category for this year's 2026 Aurora Awards is Best Fan-Related Work.
Right, yeah, we're going to hear about that.
Hi, I'm Sonia Orlando, last year's recipient of the Aurora Award for Best Fan-Related Work for Augur Society's podcast, Murmur Stations. I'm very honored to be here today introducing this year's nominees for the category. Community is so important to nurturing both writers and readers. It's one of my favorite things to geek out with friends about the quirks of the writing process, the nuance of craft, our favorite genre tropes and twists, and to generally gab about the books we love. It's such a celebration of SFF works and the creators behind them to spin off their art into more art and to make spaces where community can gather and discuss. I think the Best Fan-Related Work category really showcases that spirit, and I'm grateful to each of the nominees for their part in that. Best Fan-Related Work category encompasses presentations, lectures, choruses, APAS, podcasts, unpaid artwork, performances, and fan music of all types, including albums, songwriting, or video. It also includes work done to organize festivals and conventions, genre book events, clubs, or readings. This year's nominees are CanCon, Marie Bilodeau, Chair, and Brandon Crilly, Vice Chair, Ottawa. Scintillation 2025, Joe Walton and Renee Walling, Co-Chairs, Montreal. Two Old Farts Talk Sci-Fi, Troy Harkin and David Klink, Podcast. Wizards and Spaceships, Rachel A. Rosen and David L. Klink, Podcast by Nightbeats. And the World Shapers Podcast, Edward Willett.
Oh boy, this is the first
All right,
one.
Here we are.
Ooh.
First one.
All right.
All right. The 2026 Aurora Awards Best Fan-Related Work goes to CanCon, Marie Bilodeau, Chair, and Brandon Crilly, Vice Chair, Ottawa.
Yay!
We're live. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this honor. 2025 was a big year for us as we moved into our new home at the Brook Street Hotel. So this means even more to us.
Yeah, and genuinely, like I've said this for years, CanCon isn't about us. It isn't about any two people, really. It's about this whole community that we bring together. Here in Ottawa, folks from all over the world some years, which is wild to me, and always a blast to put on.
And this trophy is incomplete without the name of our full team, of course. So this is the crew of CanCon. Please share the love with them. Evan May, Aaron Rockford, Courtney Fernandez, Tyler Goodyear, Monique Cuillerier,
as well as Stephanie Ann, Nicole Levine, Marco Coltrera, Jameson Wolf, and Morris Rothman, who were all the core of our team last year.
Our guests of honor.
Oh, is that still me? Oh, sorry. We have a script.
It's colored.
Our guests of honor, our special guests, our panelists, our tireless volunteers, and of course, everybody who attended and made this event what it was.
And a major thanks to the staff of the Brook Street Hotel, too. Their welcoming team and their creepy art made for an unforgettable con. And
the art was very creepy.
It was very creepy. Yeah. And we can't wait to see everyone in October. Thank you so much. Hugs to everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations again, guys. We thought for a second with the script, maybe that software that Cliff had installed got infected your system too.
Well, it's his system, so
it's all me. At the end of the day,
okay, that's what it is. Congratulations again.
Congratulations.
Okay, now we're going to move on to the next category. The next category is Best Fan Writing and Publication, and we're going to hear a little bit about that award before we find out who's in this envelope.
Hi, everyone. I'm honored to be presenting this award for people who make us think, entertain us, and highlight and celebrate the strengths of speculative fiction. Best Fan Writing and Publication category covers fanzines, fan newsletters, articles, blogs, review sites, and publications, either in print or by electronic means, which contain a significant percentage of material relating to science fiction, fantasy, and/or horror. Work can include articles relating to topics such as books, movies, comics, gaming, film/music, or conventions. Works cannot promote commercial products or be dedicated to a professional group or person. This year's nominees are Amazing Stories, Online Columns, number 405 to 420, Steve Fanstack, AmazingStories.com. Book reviews in the Ottawa Review of Books, Robert Runte. Polar Starlight Magazine, Issues 17 to 20, Rhea E. Rose, editor. Speculative Poetry and the Hugos, Lynn Sargent, Strange Horizons. Young People Read Old Science Fiction, James Davis Nichol, online.
All right, and okay, we've got the envelope here. We've got the best fan writing publication, and this year it goes to Polar Starlight Magazine, issues 17 to 20. Rhea E. Rose, editor. Congratulations, Rhea. This is exciting. Rhea had mentioned was not in the green room and had mentioned may not be able to attend with other things going on. So I do have an acceptance speech here. And Rhea says, thank you to the Aurora Award organizers, volunteers, and everyone who worked so hard to celebrate speculative writing and to bring this community together. These awards are a wonderful reminder of the imagination, dedication, and generosity that exist within our field. I'd also like to thank Graham Cameron for giving me the opportunity to edit Polar Starlight. It has been an extraordinary privilege to help showcase speculative poetry and work with so many talented poets. And finally, I want to thank all the poets who continue to send us work that surprises, challenges, and sings. Your visions, your creativity, and your willingness to explore strange new worlds are what makes speculative poetry such a vibrant and exciting part of our literary landscape. Congratulations again, Rhea. That's so exciting.
Congratulations. Well, I have the next envelope, which is Best Cover Art. So let's check it out.
For those that don't know me, I'm Clifford Samuels. As the awards administrator, it is my job to ask people to introduce the awards category. This year, I asked many of last year's winners, but I also asked this year's Hall of Fame jurists, which I was one of. For this reason, I am pleased to introduce the Cover Art and Interior Illustration category. Cover art has been a huge influence on the books that have attracted my eye. Yes, I have purchased many books that, well, just because of their cover. Sometimes it doesn't work, but many times it does. And I've discovered many new authors and introduced me to some amazing stories. So the definition of this category is that you must be a professional artist. The work can either be on the cover of a published work or the illustration within it. The work that the art is on or within does not have to be genre, but the art itself does. It must be either science fiction, fantasy, or horror. Note, just because a published work is genre doesn't mean that the cover is as well. So, this year's nominees are Dancing with the Holly King, Janice Blaine, On Spec Magazine, issue 134. Listen to me and I will tell you a story. Edgy One Edge, Ebonibi, Uncanny Magazine, issue number 66. Lunar Base, Dan O'Driscoll, On Spec Magazine, issue 132. Seance, Alice M., Heartland Spec, issue 7. Starship Librarians, Lorna Anatonyatsi, Taiki Books.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's
right.
find out who's going to get this.
And the 2026 Aurora Award Best Cover Art Interior Illustration is Listen to Me and I'll Tell You a Story, cover art by Ijwa Edge Ebenyabi.
Uncanny Magazine? That was
Uncanny Magazine, issue 66.
Congratulations, Edge. And unfortunately, could not attend. So Edge sent me this acceptance speech. Hello, everyone. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. Hearing I've been nominated alongside so many fantastic nominees came as a big surprise. I never expected that would happen, let alone that I might win. As an artist, I create because I love it and because I hope that my work can connect in some small way with others, whether in sharing joy or sparking intrigue or maybe providing some small haven that brings peace within an increasingly overwhelming world. And it's my great honor to know that this cover artwork could resonate with Michael Damian Thomas and the team at Uncanny Magazine, who trusted my work to represent their wonderful publication, and with CSFFA members who nominated and voted to choose it as this year's winner. I wouldn't be the artist I am today without the incredibly supportive and encouraging family, friends, and community that constantly rallied around me and continues to do so. You all know who you are. Thank you all so much. And thank you to the Aurora Awards for creating a space where the arts can be celebrated and uplifted. Finally, congratulations to all my fellow nominees. It is an honor to be recognized alongside such phenomenal talent. I'm incredibly humbled to receive this award. It means so much to me. And fantastic words. Love what you had to say about the community. And this award is really cool because it even celebrates the collaboration between the writer and the artist and the publication, all those things that make Canadian science fiction so great.
All right, Mark, you have the next envelope.
Yeah, next envelope. This next envelope, I believe the next one is fan writing. No, that's wrong. That's the other envelope. But related to fan writing is best related work. There we go. So I have best related work. I have this envelope that put, but just a beautiful, like nice little, nice little thing. All right, let's hear more about best related work.
Hi, my name is Susan Forrest, winner of the Aurora Award in the Best YA Novel category for my two novels, Burst of Fire and Flights of Marigold. As a past winner, I know how exciting it is to be included with Canada's best works. Today, I'm honored to be presenting the award for Best Related Work. The Best Related Work category covers works of criticism, book reviews, CDs, critical editions, screenplays, anthologies, or a single author collection. This year's nominees are As the Earth Dreams, Black Canadian Speculative Stories, Therese Mason-Pierre, House of Anansi Press. Augur Magazine, issues 8.1 to 8.3, Carrie C. Byrne, Toria Liao, Andre Galenzi, Kelley Tai, and Azur Arthur. On Spec Magazine, issues 131 to 134, volume 35. Diane L. Walton, managing editor, the Copper Pig Writers Society publisher. One Message Remains, Premi Mohammed, Psychopomp. Year's Best Canadian Fantasy and Science Fiction, Volume 3, Stephen Kotowich, editor, Ansible Press.
Excellent. Okay, let's see who's going to receive the award for Best Related Work. And the award this year goes to Year's Best Canadian Fantasy and Science Fiction, Volume 3, Stephen Kotowich, editor, Ansible Press. Congratulations, Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you. What a thrill. It is always wonderful to be nominated for these kinds of things. Thank you so much for this award. I'm thrilled to accept it. I did make some notes for myself. 2025 feels like a million years ago already, and it was a very strange year, fraught year in some ways to be Canadian. So this award means a lot, particularly in this sort of climate. So some thank yous. I realize these are probably backwards to you, but if you turn around, they'll be the right way. So thank you to all of the voters who voted for these awards. Thank you to CSFFA and all the volunteers that make this award and this thing happen. It's really an incredible thing to have for the community. And as somebody already mentioned, it is, we know, a labor of love and a lot of volunteer hours. Thank you to all the other finalists, Therese and Premi, everyone at Augur, everyone at OnSpec. It is an incredible community that we are lucky to have here in Canada for speculative fiction, and I think the future is in good hands with incredible nominees like this in this category and in all the others. Thank you to all the writers and poets in the volume who did such great work, who trusted me with their work to put it out. I couldn't do this book without them, obviously, and I really appreciate their faith in me and in the idea. Speaking of people that I couldn't do the book without, thank you to the 373 backers from 18 different countries who backed the Kickstarter that made this book possible. I couldn't do it without them either, and I think the fact that we have such a broad interest in Canadian speculative fiction is a real testament to the great work that we do in this country, and that the world needs more Canada. And finally, thank you to my family, my wife Amanda, and my 3 kids, Huey, Dewey, and the third one. They have been unfailingly supportive of this project. I did promise them that if I won, we would go to dinner. They think this is a treat for them. It is not. It is my way of not having to cook tonight. So I'm very grateful to have won the award for that reason as well. So thank you, everyone. This is a real thrill, and I'm thrilled to accept it.
Congratulations, Stephen. I appreciate what you do to celebrate Canadians and bring some of those stories back so people who missed them the first time can enjoy, those best stories. So thank you for that.
So much great work from this country. It's really thrilled to do it.
Also, you may have started a new Aurora Awards tradition because your note card acceptance seems to be really very impressive.
Yeah, okay. Lots of comments about people appreciating the note cards.
But it's just my terrible memory. I didn't want to forget anything. So
when we get to that age, right?
All right, congratulations, Stephen, and maybe we'll see each other somewhere in the same area.
Maybe, because I didn't want to barbecue tonight. I wanted to go out with my tux on afterwards and have dinner. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see you.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thanks, Stephen. All right, I think I have the next envelope, which is Best Poem. So let's check out our intro.
I am Y.M. Pang, winner of the 2025 Aurora Award for Best Poem/Song. I've also had the honor of serving as a juror for the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association's Hall of Fame. Some of the oldest and most influential works of literature were, essentially, speculative fiction written in verse. From the Odyssey to Beowulf, poetry built the foundations of our fantasy and science fiction space. It is my pleasure today to introduce the finalists of the 2026 Aurora Award for Best Poem/Song, who are continuing this honored tradition. The Best Poem/Song category covers poems and songs. A song may include lyrics and music. This year's nominees are At the Spaceport Bar, Lisa Tiff, Polar Starlight Issue 17. Bigfoot Farewell, Carolyn Click, Cryptids, Kaiju, and Corn. Poems and micro-stories about modern Midwest monsters. Dragon Karaoke, David Klink, Polar Starlight Issue 18. Explosive, Derek Newman Still, Polar Starlight Issue 20. Flowers Without Meadow, Tiffany Morris, Eye to the Telescope, Issue 56. From Dust, J.Y. Jang, Small Wonders.
All right, and this year's 2026 Aurora Award Best Poem or Song goes to From Dust, J.Y. Zhang, Small Wonders.
Congratulations, JY. I don't see JY in the studio right now, and I don't believe I received an official acceptance speech. So, on behalf of KISFA and this year's Aurora ceremony, I want to say thank you on JY's behalf, and congratulations, JY. We've got some comments from folks as well with the congratulations. I love the comments. I love that interactivity that you guys are sharing, because it is a reminder of how we support one another in this most magnificent and beautiful community. Your enthusiasm, your cheering and lifting each other up is so inspiring. It is so amazing. And so again, congratulations again, JY. So many comments. It's hard to keep up, and people watching from many places, including like we saw them in a nice green environment, like Steve was as well. So excellent. Okay, so the next category,
I think it's you.
It's me. So we have the best graphic novel comic, and that is coming up. We're going to hear a little bit about that award right now.
Oh, hi there. I'm Ryan North, last year's winner in this category, and I'm very excited to present this year's nominees. The Best Graphic Novel or Comic category covers work that combine both words and art to tell a story. This category includes graphic novels, stories, or comics. Works can be published as a standalone work or within an anthology or collection, either in print or online. Nominations can be based on the written word, the illustration, or the color work. This year's nominees are Atana and the Jade Mermaid by Vivian Joe, Harper Alley. Bonds of the Forest by Ali Ram Koltoff, Augur Magazine, issue 8.3. It Never Rains by Kari Morin, webcomic. Questionable Content by Jeff Jacks, webcomic. And Shark Girl by Kate Beaton, Roaring Brook Press.
Okay, and the best graphic novel comic goes to Shark Girl by Kate Beaton from Roaring Brook Press. Congratulations, Kate. And is Kate in the studio? Don't see Kate in the studio, and I do not have an acceptance speech from Kate. So again, on behalf of Kate, I want to say thank you to everyone for voting. Congratulations to all the nominees in this category. And that is fantastic. And well done, Kate. We're seeing some of the comments popping up. Bravo to Kate as well. And again, thank you guys so much for your enthusiasm and your participation in the live awards and those comments as well. And it is great. It is great. I know not everyone gets the chance to see, but we can see the folks in the green room and the slightly faded screens in the background. And we're so excited when you guys are actually able to attend. And I know there have been some tech challenges in the past. I saw some folks who said they maybe tech challenged actually showed up in the green room. So it was great to see their smiling faces. I guess we're lucky that we get to see their smiling faces, but not everyone does. But we're so lucky that you guys keep creating such amazing content and get those amazing nominations. But Liz, we have the next one coming up.
Yeah, well, the next one we have is Best Short Story, and we are going to have Stephen Kotowich return to us. He's going to do a quick little change, just like Marie Bilodeau did, like just quick change.
Costume change, yeah.
Costume change, and here we go.
Hi, I'm Stephen Kotowich, and I am thrilled to be introducing the nominees for Best Short Story in this year's Aurora Awards. And I'm thrilled because I love science fiction and fantasy short stories. As a kid, short stories were my gateway into FNSF, whether it was reprint anthologies of classic stories, themed anthologies of new stories, or collected short stories by Ray Bradbury or Ursula K. Le Guin. I love the short story because it's really the laboratory of science fiction and fantasy. Yes, we all love the novels too, but the short story is where authors can really stretch the boundaries and possibilities of speculative fiction. It's where they can break your heart or blow your mind. They can play with the strange, the philosophical, the experimental, the political. It's where they can be audacious. Readers come to science fiction and fantasy for experiences, ideas, and perspectives that they can't find in other kinds of fiction. And the very best speculative fiction stories, like our 5 nominees this year, are the ones that make their ideas and images impossible to dismiss or forget. The Best Short Story category covers works of fewer than 7,500 words, and the category covers short-form fiction such as short stories and flash. This year's nominees are Hunted to Extinction, Premi Mohammed, Gallery Books. I Ain't Your Dollface, Jacqueline Thorpe, Polar Borealis Magazine, issue 33. The Love Song of House and Lake, Gillian Secord, On Spec Magazine, issue 133. The Stone Played at Tenjet, R.H. Wesley, Clarkesworld Magazine, issue 230. What If We Kissed While Sinking a Billionaire's Yacht, Rachel A. Rosen, Antifa Lit Journal, Volume 1. And the winner is...
All right, everyone. Here we go. The 2026 Aurora Award Best Short Story, The Stone Played at Tenjen, R.H. Wesley. I am going to pull him up.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I have a few people I wanted to thank. I wanted to thank Mia, my wife. She's always my first reader. Thanks for holding back your criticism when I'm ready to hear it. My family and friends, thanks for listening to me ramble about my story ideas long before they make any sense. I wanted to thank Neil and everyone at Clarkesworld for publishing this story and for publishing my first ever short story. Thank you guys for taking a chance on me, taking a chance on a new author. I have to thank all my contacts for fact-checking this story, both for Go Rules and for the Meiji period Japanese history. Getting this one right was a bit of a doozy. I'd like to thank my fellow members at the Toronto Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers. I couldn't have gotten so far without all of your support. Thanks everyone for this award, and I hope that I can continue to create things that will make you all proud.
That is so exciting. Congratulations. So many comments streaming, and we're trying to keep up. What happens is it's not a bug in the system, but what happens is they scroll up so fast, we're trying to capture them. And as you go to click on one, it jumps, it moves, it like speculative. It's just constantly going forward and constantly looking forward as well. And congratulations again. So exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think I have the next one.
You have the next one.
Yeah, so the next category we're going to hear about and see the nominees is for Best Novelette, Novella, and that's coming up right now.
So I'm J.M. Landels. I'm a fantasy author, and I'm the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Pulp Literature Press, and I am delighted to announce the nominees for the Best Novelette/Novella category. This category covers word count of between 7,500 and 40,000 words, and works that are defined either as novelettes or novellas. And this year's nominees are The First Thousand Trees by Premi Mohammed from ECW Press, In the Gardener's Service by Michel Laframboise in the July-August issue of Asimov's, The Lure of Stone by Silvia Moreno-Garcia in issue 66 of Uncanny Magazine, A Palace Near the Wind by Ai Jiang from Titan Books, The River Has Roots by Amal El-Mokhtar from Tor.com.
And congratulations to all nominees. And so the best novelette goes to The River Has Roots, Amal El-Mokhtar. Amal, are you in the studio? I do not see Amal in the studio, and I do not have an acceptance speech. So I want to say a huge congratulations. There's comments coming in as well for that. So very exciting. Congratulations, Amal, and congratulations to all the nominees in this category. So very exciting. We only have two more left, right?
We only have two more left.
Two more celebrations.
Well, I am super excited. I always like to have this one every year. This is the best YA novel. So let's find out a little bit more about them from Ido van Belkom.
Hey everyone, Ido van Belkom here to present the Aurora Award finalists in the Best Young Adult Novel category. Why me, you might ask? Well, I've actually won 2 awards for my young adult work, the first being for the anthology Be Very Afraid. That won in the Best Long-Form Work in English category. It was actually a sequel to the anthology Be Afraid, and I had proposed a third one called Shit Your Pants, but unfortunately the publisher never went for that one, which led me to writing my own young adult novels, the first of which was Wolfpack. That won in the Best Long-Form Work in English category, despite having a really terrible cover. It's another story for another time. However, 16 years later, that book was picked up by Paramount Plus and was made into the television series Wolfpack, created by Jeff Davis, which ran on Paramount Plus for one season. I did get a nice poster out of it and a better cover, which I'm grateful for. But enough about me. Let's move on to the category of Best Young Adult Novel. Okay, let's go over the category here, and for that, I need my glasses. Just bear with me. The Best Young Adult Novel category is for works over 30,000 words for young adults or younger. A work can be less than 30,000 words if it was published as a standalone book and if the author agrees that the work should be considered in this category. And now for the nominees. Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee, Wednesday Books. Fireboy by Edward Willett, Shadowpaw Press. A Lion's Head by D.M. Alwis, Ahase Tharu Publications. Minotaur by Jameson Wolfe, Rebel Satori Press. One Morning Sun by Avi Silver, Mole Whale Press. And Winging It by Jen Desmarais, Renaissance Press. Good luck to all the nominees.
All right, here we go. The 2026 Aurora Award Best YA Novel is Breath of the Dragon, Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee, Wednesday Books.
Awesome. Let's check the studio. I know we have a recording for. Okay.
We do have a recording from Fonda, so let's allow her to share her thank yous.
Wow, thank you so much to the Aurora voters for recognizing this book. Breath of the Dragon is not a novel that I had planned to write, expected to write, but it definitely is proof to me that as writers, we need to keep pushing ourselves creatively, trying different things. I had never co-written a project before. I was really quite nervous about it, and I am so happy with how it turned out and the reception to the book. So first and foremost, I truly have to thank Shannon Lee for reaching out to me, for being such an incredible, open-minded, collaborative partner, and for allowing me to be part of her family's extraordinary legacy. And I will also need to thank the entire publishing team at Wednesday Books for getting behind this project, Breath of the Dragon, and its sequel, Mark of the Warrior, which comes out very soon. And just my fellow nominees and winners tonight, you are all so incredible. I never tire of seeing Canadian writers just lighting it up in the speculative fiction space. Thank you again all so much. Have an incredible night.
Oh wow, very exciting. It's always great when we can actually hear. I mean, I don't want to hear myself reading someone's script. I love to hear from the people as well. And again, sometimes people cannot be here in person, but I know we do have a few people in the green room already for the last award. And the final category is Best Novel, and we are going to hear a little bit more about the Best Novel category right now.
Hi, I'm Prayni Mohammed. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm delighted and honored to introduce the novel category this year, mainly because I'm always thrilled to see such a wide range in the overarching umbrella of imaginative fiction and all things real and not yet real. We've got witches and wizards and dragons, ancient evils, cyberpunk, those nice, trustworthy fae folk, and France. The Best Novel category covers works with over 40,000 words. A work that is less than 40,000 words, but is published as a standalone book, can be allowed to compete in this category if the author wishes it. This year's nominees are The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, Del Rey. Blight, Rachel A. Rosen, The BumblePuppy Press. Direct Descendant by Tanya Huff, Daw Books. The Downloaded 2, Ghosts in the Machine, Robert J. Sawyer, Audible Originals, Shadowpaw Press. Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, Heather Fawcett, Del Rey. A Shift of Time, Julie E. Czerneda, Daw Books. And Written on the Dark, Guy Gavriel K., Viking, Canada.
Okay, and in this envelope we have this year's recipient of Best Novel, but I think we should take a break. Maybe we should just read who is in the envelope. I see the people in the green room going, no.
Poor Julie.
The anticipation.
It's okay.
Okay.
We're gonna say it. We're gonna say
all right.
it.
So Best Novel for
Here we go.
2026 Aurora Awards is going to The Downloaded 2, Ghosts in the Machine, Robert J. Sawyer, Audible Originals, Shadowpaw Press. Congratulations, Rob.
Congratulations, Rob.
Thank you so much. Carolyn and I are in Las Vegas right now at the 60th anniversary Star Trek convention. Just in the past hour, we saw William Shatner at 95 years old saying, live your life every day to the fullest. And I'm 30 years younger than the Shat, but I've been privileged to do that. I am so pleased to have had Audible Originals as the commissioning partner in the Downloaded and its sequel, Downloaded 2, Ghosts in the Machine. They are the best creative partners I've ever had, and I've worked with 4 out of 5 of the big 5 New York publishers and many great Canadian publishers. They've been the absolute best. My producer, Gavriel Sieber, the director on Downloaded 2, Casey Wayland, a dream cast led by Academy Award winner Brendan Fraser and the wonderful Vanessa Sears, who is starring right now in And Juliet here in Toronto at the Mirvish Stage, the sequel to Romeo and Juliet. She played Juliet last year at Stratford. And of course, my print edition publisher, Edward Willett of Shadowpaw Press, and Alicia Soule, who formatted the book's interior and did the spectacular cover art for the book, and also served as one of my chief proofreaders, editors, sounding boards, and obviously Carolyn Klink, who is here with me and was as you know, a nominee in the poetry category tonight. The nominees this year, I got to tell you, I'm not up for a Hugo this year, but I'm voting in the Hugos. We had in the best novel category this year, I think, a world class, not just best Canadian. I was stunned to be included on this list with the great writers, many of whom have been friends for decades, and some are friends of more recent vintage. But all of us are collegial. All of us are supporters of each other's work. All of us love the fact that we are Canadians and making our mark on the Canadian stage, on the world stage, and out there in the galaxy. Live long and prosper, and thank you from the bottom. It's not here, my Vulcan heart, my human heart. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We're live from Vegas. Congratulations, yeah. Rob.
It's here? It's back here?
The Vulcan Vulcan heart.
Just wondering.
Down here where the liver is.
Okay.
There you go.
Good to know. Good to know.
Awesome. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas as well. All right. And I'll just probably have a reread of this little book that I got signed when you were in town.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, awesome.
Congratulations, Rob.
Awesome. And congratulations to everyone, to all of the recipients of this year's Aurora Awards. Congratulations to all the nominees. I just want to take the time to remind people, if you go to the Canadian Science Fiction, the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy, if you go to the association, you can see the list, not just from this year's short list of nominees, but you can go back 2025 all the way back and there's so many books you can check out. I do encourage you to go to your local bookstore, check it out, ask for the books, the magazines you can order online, even back issues are available. Check out the short stories, check them out. We really have some amazing talent in Canada, and we're so fortunate to get access to that. I want to say thank you to all the creators who are giving us such amazing content that we can enjoy and that we can celebrate. So do take advantage of that. Ask for the books at your local library as well. Again, the more people who are talking about Canadian science fiction and the great nominees and all the great titles that get produced, the more we can celebrate, the more we can continue to celebrate each and every year. There's probably additional comments, right, that we want to pop up and just see
for sure.
some of the great stuff that people are.
We are also super excited to feature some of the fantastic places where you can explore maybe this year's nominees or past nominees of the Aurora Awards. You may not have the type of book selection that we have going on here, but you can always go to your local library. You can always go to your local bookstore, independent bookstore as well. And in our outro, we are going to be featuring a few of those options, just some sightings of some Canadian science fiction, fantasy, and horror authors and titles.
Actually,
you
it
may
goes
want to
beyond
check.
that too. It's beyond the speculative arts, because we asked people to send in their celebration of Canadian content, and we had people had submitted photos of Canadian bookstores from sea to sea that we have in there. We've got booksellers, we've got authors as well, and so in the end credits, you're going to see some of those images that people shared, some of the books that they wanted to share, some amazing Canadian authors in science fiction and fantasy and horror, but also just Canadian in general, because it is so important that we celebrate the amazing creators in this fantastic country of ours. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for all of the comments and all of the celebratory cheers and propping one another up. And thank you, Liz. I mean, we really managed, like, with the technology. Cliff, thanks for installing the software. It was really,
so much.
but like that was kind of scary for a little while. We couldn't get in.
We're okay though.
Yeah, we made it.
So thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And the closing with which features some Canadian images for you to enjoy.
Good night.
Good night.